The King has returned. Kevin De Bruyne back in action for Man City with a vital cameo against Newcastle United and a vital point in the season. Second half of the season, this is where the title running properly starts. In this video, through the lens of the Newcastle game, what I want to do is assess De Bruyne's role and position against Newcastle and focus on why that could win Man City the Premier League. I'll be doing that through my tactical boards as well as some data and stills from the game. Let's start, shall we, by having a look at Kevin De Bruyne's touch map. He came on in around the 70th minute, so only on the pitch for around 20 minutes, so we don't have too many touches to go off. But what we can already see is the variance in where these touches are coming from. We've got some in the right half space, we've got some on the left, we've got some out on the right wing. This is obviously where his goal came from, outside the box. It was a very free role for Kevin De Bruyne, something that I can't really remember seeing under Guardiola unless it's something really obvious. It was very unusual, not something that I really thought that we would see. This is a really nice bit of data from Mark Stats as well. That free role that Kevin De Bruyne was given really caused chaos for Newcastle United's defenders. It allowed De Bruyne to get in some really dangerous areas. I'll get into why that's obviously going to be crucial for Man City as the season goes on. Bear in mind that De Bruyne, as I mentioned, was only on the pitch for around 20 minutes, and look at where he leads in respect of increased chances of scoring as the passer. So he's actually the second highest in the game, and as I say, he was only on the pitch for 20 minutes of the game. Absolutely insane from Kevin De Bruyne. There were some really good performances in this game, not just from De Bruyne. I thought Foden, Rodri, Gvardiol, all very good, but I do want to focus more so on De Bruyne because it is his return. Sometimes De Bruyne was quite deep in the midfield, sometimes he was just in the centre of the centre, sometimes he was on the left, sometimes on the right half space and out and out right wing. And immediately, as soon as he comes on, we see that right wing play come into play. The right side of the pitch has been a big issue for Man City this season. Kevin De Bruyne is going to be the key to unlock that for City. There we go. Foden is on the ball. He stayed in midfield when Kevin De Bruyne came on. Kevin De Bruyne provides that overlapping run. Proper threat on the right-hand side now. This is an unbelievable ball. Alvarez probably should do a little bit better with it. But again, the fact that, as I'll get into, the variance of where De Bruyne can create from is going to be massive for City. And there we go. It reaches Alvarez. Maybe he could do better with that finish. Here we see a totally different shape from City. Gvardiol's basically gone into the midfield at this point. He was playing a lot at left wing in this game. Went into midfield here. That allows Doku to go back and hold the width. Alvarez as the standard striker. And actually, where is Kevin De Bruyne? He was in the right wing before, and now he goes back to the centre. So again, the Newcastle defenders not really knowing where to go, not knowing where to pick up De Bruyne. And that central position is where City's equaliser came from. Unbelievable work by Rodri. Could have done a whole video on how good Rodri was in this game. It's just a shame for him that De Bruyne came back, and I want to focus more so on him. I've no idea what Newcastle are doing here, though, in fairness. Why... If I was a Newcastle fan, I would be so angry. In my opinion, this is the best player in the Premier League. Why are you giving him that much space in the pockets? I have zero clue and zero idea. As a City fan, I was very happy. Basically, Rodri does so well here. Kevin De Bruyne picks up the ball. Again, no Newcastle defender comes to close him down. Incredibly surprising. And De Bruyne gets an unbelievable, precise long shot off. I do question the Newcastle defending. I don't know why they aren't closing him down. This was Kevin De Bruyne's 28th long shot goal in the Premier League. He's actually got more long shot goals overall, if we count club and internationals. He's got more than Lampard and Gerrard. This is how good Kevin De Bruyne is outside the box. I have no idea why they allowed him to do that, but there we go. It is a fantastic finish by De Bruyne. Again, that threat doesn't matter where De Bruyne is on the pitch, from a creative standpoint, from a shooting standpoint. Kevin De Bruyne is that guy. And this is what I really liked. I loved how after the equaliser, he pointed to his head. He was like, guys, think. And this is like sort of an intangible of De Bruyne's game. He is a captain and he is a leader. And I feel like when he came on, he galvanised that City team. And again, that mentality, intangible aspect might be really important for City, because I do believe we have lacked leadership on the pitch for large portions of the season. De Bruyne, for me, demonstrating with that little move that he is the guy to restore order and leadership to the side. Now, in terms of like how City set up without the ball, not really unusual. Because Foden and De Bruyne weren't exclusively operating in midfield, it was much more fluid with lots of interplay. De Bruyne basically occupied the striker role alongside Alvarez, and it was Foden who went to the right side of midfield. So there is that four. You've got Foden, Rodri, Kovacic, Doku as the four in midfield. De Bruyne and Alvarez up top, in De Bruyne in his favourite off ball position, so he can press the opposition. Here's another example of City's players being really fluid. We've actually got Alvarez out on the right here, and this isn't really from a counter-attacking phase of play. City have had the ball for a long period here, so Alvarez had plenty of time to go back to the centre, but no, he's actually holding his width out there on the right-hand side. Foden basically being the striker, De Bruyne going to right central midfield. I just really like how fluid City were when De Bruyne came on, and we can see it again here, De Bruyne holding that width, Foden now in the midfield. So lots going on. De Bruyne sometimes on the right, sometimes in the middle, Foden likewise, lots of changing of roles, lots of changing of positions, made it really tricky to defend against. Now, how did that impact Foden? Because again, lots of the talk has been, can the two play in midfield? Well, this was his touch map before De Bruyne came on. Foden was basically afforded that free role. You can see he's going to the right, he's going to the left, he's going to the right of centre, left of centre, central centre, dropping deep to get the play. And this was his touch map in the 70th minute onwards. As we can see, basically now that free role has been given to Kevin De Bruyne. Foden, obviously some touches in the middle, but more so on that right-hand side. And that's absolutely fine, because I know I've been a very big advocate of Foden in the midfield, but at the end of the day, if you're going to give this free role to anyone, you're going to give it to Kevin De Bruyne over basically anyone else in your team. If you want to know my thoughts on whether the two can play in midfield on a consistent basis, I'd recommend watching my video on that. I'll link it here, whatever, go give it a watch after this video. What we also saw in this game was Doku, for the most part, was basically playing inside. So Gvardiol was primarily the left winger. We've seen him do that before, most notably against Crystal Palace, where Gvardiol played on the left wing, Grealish tucked in. Similar thing here with Doku. I thought Doku was all right at it, but he did struggle at points throughout the game. It's the first time I've ever seen him do that role, so I'm not surprised that he didn't take to it immediately. So what did Pep do? What did City do? Oscar Bob came on. This is a player who can play on the left, right, striker, false nine, midfield, whatever, but he is more comfortable inside. He is definitely more of like an 8-10 player, someone who wants to work in those inside areas rather than the outside, more comfortable than Doku in that respect. And we saw that immediately, and that's actually how the goal was scored. Bob from that central position. This still here is like a foreshadowing of what was to come. De Bruyne, we've seen him out wide on the right, we've seen him central, we've even seen him on the left. This is him in a much deeper area. So he's actually here behind both Rodri and Kovacic, almost sort of like a Pirlo position. And again, it just demonstrates De Bruyne's creative arsenal. It doesn't matter where you put him on the pitch, he will be able to create. From here, you don't think anything's on. He places to Rodri, who does so well, and he creates that chance and forces a really good save. That came from De Bruyne's positioning, and obviously Rodri's really good play. This is what I was talking about before, that free role that De Bruyne was given in this game. He didn't actually get the ball in this instance. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he was able to whip a really nice ball in there for one of the strikers to hit, similar to his cross against Liverpool in the FA Cup last season. So he can create from basically anywhere on the pitch. It's irrelevant for Kevin De Bruyne. Now, this is the goal. And this is also why it's so crucial that De Bruyne is back for us, because the players around, it's not just about De Bruyne, the players around De Bruyne will act differently when De Bruyne is on the ball. What do I mean by that? Well, Kovacic picks up the ball here. This is just before the winning goal. Oscar Bob, the goal scorer. Now, he sees Kovacic on the ball. So what does Bob do? He approaches Kovacic and asks for the ball to feet. Now, why does he do that? Why doesn't he make that run? Because he knows that Kovacic, that's not really his game. That's not really a ball that he's able to find. He's not really comfortable trying to find those balls. Now, look at the difference in body language as soon as Kevin De Bruyne picks up the ball. So the ball comes to De Bruyne here. Bob is now switched on. This is a player who, if I make this run now, this is a player who will be able to see it and execute that pass. And that's exactly what happens. As soon as De Bruyne's got some space, Bob's like, right, this is the moment where I need to act now. I know that ball can come in because I know De Bruyne can hit that ball. Bob does not make that run without De Bruyne on the pitch. It is an unbelievable ball by Kevin De Bruyne. So look at how deep he is. Like it's not even like the sort of zones of the pitch where you would associate these crosses to come. It is so central and so deep. It's unbelievable. This ball, I can't quite get over it. Bob does so well to ride the challenge, and that is actually what I was most impressed with about the play from a Bob perspective. Obviously the touch is great, obviously the goal is great. He can go down here in my opinion, if he wants to, whether he wins the penalty or not, whatever. I think that in that situation, if he wanted to, he could buy the penalty. But I love how he didn't want to do that. I love how he wanted to stay on his feet and try to score a goal. And he's rewarded unbelievable touch from the left foot to the right, and it's just a ridiculous goal by Oscar Bob, initiated by the fact that Kevin De Bruyne put in that unbelievable ball. It doesn't matter where he is on the pitch. So let's just, for example, substitute him there. It doesn't matter if De Bruyne is here. It doesn't matter if De Bruyne is here. It doesn't matter if De Bruyne is here. It doesn't matter if he's here or here. He can do basically anything he wants in terms of creating chances because he is that good. There is no player at City, or probably in the league, maybe even in the world, who can do what De Bruyne does in that respect. We've been crying out for that sort of variety and variance in respect of chance creation. Got a lot of good passers and carriers in the squad. Foden, for example, has been fantastic this season, but it's not a discredit to him to say that De Bruyne is obviously on another level, clearly. It's that, as I say, it's that creative variety. It doesn't matter where he is. If he's crossing on the right, if he's doing a direct cross from the right, if he's doing one of his infamous half space crosses from the half space, if he's doing now one of these Pirlo balls from around here, or we didn't see it in this game, but as I say, we know that he can do it here as well from the left hand side. With this in City's arsenal, this is how City win the Premier League. Assuming De Bruyne stays fit, this is an unbelievable advantage that City have now got back. Guys, that was a video long overdue. Apologies, but hopefully you enjoyed the Kevin De Bruyne specific analysis of this video. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like. I mentioned it before, but if you want to see how I think Foden and De Bruyne could operate in midfield together, how they could coexist together, I'll put the video on the screen. If you would like to support me, you can click this link. I'll put it somewhere if you want to become a YouTube member, like these lovely people. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.